Hello everyone, welcome back to another session on Morphing Tangles. This will be the 11th session of the series and we are almost at the end of the series. Yes, today again we'll be drawing a tile together using the same technique and see how beautiful tangles gel with each other. Also called as the morphing technique, wherein you transition from one tangle to the other seamlessly, beautifully, taking a cue from the previous one. Yes, I have my border in place and then I'm going to be starting with a tangle called Jetties. Yes, so I'm using my micron O1. You can also use your PN and I will start somewhere here with a tangle Jetties, which is nothing but these lovely orbs. I'm going to draw a couple of them first, sitting cozily like this. Yes, and instead of the usual way to draw jetties, I'm going to be decorating them a little differently. Yes, you can always draw the usual jetties, that's fine. I'm going to be decking them up a little bit, a slight tangulation here, where instead of the band being inked, I'm going to be having fun with my jetties, adding some fine lines, orbs, and different angles. Yes, so this is the first one, and then let's add the second one. Again, I'm going to be creating some sections. I'm adding a slight curve to the lines because it will help me give a slight dimension when I shade them. Again, drawing some lines, and this section you can either add orbs or you can add lines at a distance with some dots. I'm just going random with whatever I feel like. If you don't like both lines, then you can also kind of convert the center one to a mesh, something like this, and you can add ink like this, tiny ones. So be patient. Yes, so that was Knightsbridge in the center. The third one, again I'm going to add some slanting stripes. You can always add a highlight or you can ink the entire thing, whichever way you like it. So this is the classic jetties, but I'm going to add shattuck instead of inking, and probably you can add some fine lines. So whichever way you like to deck it up, please go ahead. Yes, and now I'm going to start adding some lines. Some bit of tipples here and there as a filler is a good idea. I'm starting to add some sections, some lines. Yes, So in these lines I am going to be adding some more orbs, some more jetties, and start with a tangle called circles. Yes, so if I want to ink this space, the next one will be empty, so I'm going to ink. You can always leave a slight gap, or you can ink it completely, entirely your choice. Yes, and then leave one section and then ink the next one again. Slowly take your time. I'm going to ink this part. So you can take a bolder nib and ink. It would be faster. Yes. So this part of the orb to be left as it is, and the section to be inked. Just giving a feel of the tangle. Circles. Yes. So I'm going to be inking this section of the orb. Add one more. Of this section, and then gradually the next part I'm going to bring the lines a little closer. Yes, and reduce these inked sections to these humps. Probably you can keep them a little bigger initially. Yes, so that they kind of look like receding circles. Yes, but I'm going to get the lines closer now and transition into my next angle, which is Diva Dance, the waltz version. But still you want to retain the feel of the circles, and you want the jetties flying here and there. Yes, so let's do that. Add a few orbs so that we don't miss it. Yes, so I have drawn some orbs randomly, and then again I'm going to add a nice big hump here, as if the circles are reducing gradually in size and forming the tangle Diva Dance. Yes, so you also want the connect through the jetties, so the jetties will help you keep that connect. Yes, let's now proceed further, add some more. Now you can either ink the way they are here like circles. Yes, you can do that also, or you can just probably add some layers of Diva Dance inside, so they blend. entirely up to you. How do you want to go about? Yes. So I'm going to continue one or two more layers like this. Probably you can get in one or two layers inside here. Just going with the flow, not really thinking where, what. As I always do. Because if I plan my tile, it never turns out the way I planned. Yeah, so there is no point planning it. Rather go with the flow. Take wherever the tile takes you. Go wherever the tile takes you. Yes. Going to add a few more layers of the diva dance. The straight version of diva dance is also called as the waltz version. Probably now we can stop and just add. So basically we inked some portion of the orb, but not the way it is generally inked. We instead inked it using the diva dance. Yes, that's what we did here. So you can continue adding few more layers because we still have space, and we will gradually seep into another tangle called Nipa, which will be nothing but further even more fine lines without any weight. Yeah, simple lines. So that's what is the tangle Nipa. The lines go finer, the lines go closer, and the orbs are not inked, they stay the way they are, white. Yes, so I'm now reducing my pen pressure and getting closer and not adding any weight. Yes, that's what I'm doing here. This one I'm going to ink like Jetties, or probably you can add some orbs. Yes, like this. So now I'm going to get finer, so I'm reducing the pen pressure and kind of going closer in terms of aura, trying to bring more wave to the lines gradually, because that's what Nipa is all about. Wavy lines, close lines, like this. Yes, so you can see the lines getting thinner. Enjoy the process. Give the wave. Add more waves to the lines. Make it a little more crinky, wavy, shaky, Reduce the pen pressure. Get closer to the lines. Like this. Yes. So I'm going to continue for a while like this. Add it to about this space. Yes, 4 or 5 more lines. So I'm still continuing to draw those fine auras with these orbs white and intact in between. The tangle is called Nipa. Take your time, be patient. So adding a few more of these. It's a beautiful meditation. Slowly take your time. Wavy lines. Close auras. Yes, you can see that. Now what I'm going to do is the rest of the orbs that I have, I'm going to fill up the rest of the space with tipples since we are already working with orbs. So I'm going to place some big and small tipples all around these orbs. Probably first layer I'm going to add some big ones like these, a little bigger ones. Yes, you can also draw a tangle called arukas and give a slight wave to the lines. Make crinkly lines. I'm not sure if you are understanding what I'm saying. I mean, you draw your arukas like these. These lines can be straight, but the other lines can be a little crinky and they will again get connected to your original, to the tangles that you are using. Yes, so slight wave to the lines, and using these orbs you can draw the tangle arukas also. So I'm now adding the second layer of orbs, which are smaller. Yes, so going to the second one, doing the same exercise, adding one more layer of orbs which are comparatively smaller in size, just playing around with orbs and nothing else, and you will see what simple orbs can do in Zentangle. Yes, so just continue like this. Make sure you don't leave spaces in between, so they should be tightly packed close to each other. If you still have some spaces in between, just go back and ink it either at the same time, or you can get back to them later. Yes, and now I'm going to reduce the size even further. Something like this. You can of course add few big ones, but more or less the size will be tiny now, very tiny tipple. Yes, so I'm going to do the same and fill up the entire space, reduce the size of the tipple. You can of course add a few big ones if you want in between. This is a simpler version, or you can say a crazy version of the tangle quipple, which is generally drawn in a straight line. Not necessarily straight, but yes, kind of curvy line, or not random in this fashion, but that's how the tangle quipple looks like. Yes, take your time, go slow. Keep adding these orbs and fill up the entire space like this. So I'm almost done, and then some of the spaces which is left, I'm again going to add these crinky wavy lines of the nipa showing through. Yes, and that's it. I don't think we need to add anything else. Yes, so let us now first shade our tile, and then we shall see if we need to add something else, we can do that. So what I'm going to do is shade my jetties on one side, as I generally do. I like to shade it that way. So I'm adding shadow on one side and then blending it, bringing it to about half of my jetties, but not covering the entire thing, restricting the shadow to half. Yes, then as far as the circles is concerned, I'm going to add at the edges, the ends, like this. Yes, moving on again to your diva dance, again going to add at the edges only. However, it is your choice how do you want to shade it. You can always add darkness to the dips and highlight the ups, so that's also a common way to shade your. So I'm going to shade inside here. Shade the way you wish to. entirely your choice. And then these I'm going to be shading like big orbs or droplets maybe. Let's see. Something like this. So shading is a matter of personal choice. You can shade the way you wish to. I'm giving you ideas on how you can shade. Yes, moving on next to Nipa. I'm going to maintain the same method of shading. Again, add shadow at the edges. You can of course extend it more, bring it towards the center. Whichever way you like it. You can also add shadow here, a little extra darkness if you wish to. And this part I am going to enclose. Shade like a pillow so the center pops up. Slowly blend. Make sure the center remains white. Yes. So it's a magical tile, isn't it? You can add some extra darkness. Simple tangles. So easy to move from one to other. Keeping that connect with the help of your jetties and the orbs. Time to highlight. Let's move to our chalk. So when it comes to highlights, highlight the other half of your jetties where you have not added chalk. So that is possible only when you add graphite to half. Yes, so if you blend too much, you will lose the opportunities to shade. You can also highlight these. Use a different blending stub to soften the chalk. You can highlight these. You can highlight some of the parts of your diva dance. Make sure the chalk is softened, it's not cakey. You can highlight some parts of your nipa. And you can highlight these spaces. Of your quipple. like this. Yes, time to revisit some of the lines if they have gone hazy after using the chalk. You must do that. A small little exercise that you can do to enhance these orbs a little more is to add a little weight on one side. You can do this also. Yes, but these things are optional. You may not do it. It's a small enhancement, adding a little weight on one side. Yes, you want to add a little more mystic, then the jelly roll comes to your rescue. A little bit of magic there running through your circles. Not all, just one band probably. Yes, you can also add magic on these spaces where you have highlights. So wherever you add chalk, you can always add the white jelly roll to highlight the space a little more. And that's about it. I don't think we need anything else on this tile. Yes, small tiny spaces in between can be inked since it is the circles continuing, so you can comfortably ink those spaces. That's about it. That's another tile which kind of shows how you can move from one tangle to another beautifully. Yes, let's close our tile here. Put in your chalk, sign and date your tile. I shall see you again with the wrap-up session of this series. Yes, till then, have a good time. Enjoy tangling. Bye-bye.